My name is Olivia Duke, and I'm very happy to be here tonight. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to thank every single one of you in this room. The impact you collectively create through 100 Women Who Care is extraordinary. The ripple effect of your generosity reaches far beyond these walls. I also want to acknowledge the other organizations sharing this space tonight. They are doing important, meaningful work in our community, and it is an honor to stand alongside them. Every cause represented here is worthy. That alone speaks volumes about the strength of our local nonprofit sector. When we talk about positive ripple effects, I want to start by saying this. I see them in this room. I see them in the generosity, the leadership, and the collective care that brings us together each quarter. In fact, the reason I'm standing before you tonight is because of the community in this room. About a year ago, after one of these meetings, I had one of those conversations that just wasn't planned, but stayed with me. I connected with Shannon, the founder of DTBY Youth, completely by chance. We ended up chatting after the meeting, and as she shared the purpose behind DTBY Youth, something clicked. Not just professionally, personally. As a daughter of immigrants, I'm very aware of how easily someone can fall through the cracks. Language barriers, financial challenges, limited access to community supports. When you're navigating systems that weren't designed with you in mind, stability isn't guaranteed. It's something you build over time. If it hadn't been for mentors who believed in me and community connections that opened doors I didn't even know existed, my path could have looked very different. I'm not sure I would carry the same sense of confidence or empowerment that I do today. And now, as a mother to both a son and daughter, that sense of responsibility feels even more profound. Because I want the next generation, our youth, to have access to mentorship, connection, and opportunity without barriers. I want them to feel supported before they struggle, to feel seen before they are lost. That's why DTBY Youth resonated so deeply with me. DTBY Youth is a Burlington-based grassroots charity supporting youth across Halton and Hamilton. Their focus is not crisis response, it's prevention, and that distinction matters. We know the statistics. You'll see some of them reflected in the slides and the impact reports on your tables tonight. 1 in 5 children and youth in Ontario are estimated to experience a mental health challenge. Most mental health challenges begin before the age of 18. And tragically, suicide remains one of the leading causes of death among young people, with hopelessness being the common thread. Not illness, not accidents, hopelessness. And hopelessness thrives in isolation. The solution isn't waiting till someone is already in crisis. The solution is building community, connection, and purpose early, so young people don't have to carry everything alone. That's where DTBY Youth is different. Next slide. At DTBY, youth don't just participate, they lead. Through mentorship, service, and support, young people build self-leadership, confidence, adaptability, and resilience. These are the skills employers are actively seeking, communities depend on, and young people need to navigate an increasingly complex world. I'll share an example. Ellis, a grade 12 student, describes herself as introverted and shy. Through DTBY's programs and peer mentorship, she didn't become someone else. She became more fully herself, more confident, more grounded, more willing to stand up for herself and others. That's the ripple effect of this work. DTBY talks about me, we, and community. It starts with me, building confidence and self-leadership, then we, peer support, mentorship, knowing you're not alone, and finally, community, giving back, serving others, and strengthening the spaces we all share. Through my connection with Shannon, that ripple effect has continued. We are now collaborating with the Burlington Lions Club to involve youth in meaningful service opportunities. When community organizations align, youth see what leadership looks like in action. I also want to briefly speak to how DTBY Youth operates. DTBY is not a large institution with layers of administration. It is a grassroots organization powered primarily by individual one-time and recurring donations, community and corporate sponsorships, in-kind contributions, and a limited number of grants, which, as many of us know, are increasingly competitive and harder to secure. At the end of 2025, their total year-end revenue was approximately $270,000. That is a modest budget for the scope of work they are delivering across Halton. They are doing a lot with very little, and that is exactly why rooms like this matter. Because when funding is lean, every dollar becomes more powerful, every investment becomes more personal, and every collective gift has the potential to accelerate real impact. Next slide, please. Tonight, your collective donation would directly support a specific and timely initiative. the launch of Dare to Be Youth's Leadership Through Sport initiative here in Burlington this April. And I want to be very clear about something. 100% of your donations tonight will go directly towards launching this initiative, serving local nonprofit partners and the youth they support. This April event is not a one-time experience. It is the entry point. From there, youth continue through year-round engagement, ongoing leadership workshops, sport-based learning sessions, and peer mentorship opportunities that create sustained relationships, skill development, and belonging. Because belonging is not built in a single afternoon, it is built over time. Youth participation in sport declines significantly during adolescence, especially among young girls. In fact, 1 in 3 girls drop out of sport by adolescence, and they are twice as likely to leave sports as boys, often because they don't feel confident, welcomed, or supported in these spaces. And when young people disengage from structured activities like sport, they often lose access to mentorship, positive role models, and a sense of belonging at the very same time. Yet sport, when designed intentionally, is one of the most powerful environments for mentorship, resilience, and confidence building. This initiative uses sport not as competition, but as a tool for leadership. Through this pathway, youth will build resilience, confidence, teamwork, and real-world life skills that prepare them for school, work, and life. They will learn to communicate under pressure, manage emotions in real time, and adapt when things do not go as planned, and lead themselves and others on the court, in school, at work, and in their communities. And every barrier is removed. No fees, transportation covered, coaches and mentors provided, food included, because cost should never be the reason a young person does not get support. This program is open to all youth, and it's intentionally designed to better engage young men, including BIPOC youth, who too often face barriers to belonging, mentorship, and safe spaces to talk. When people feel connected, they thrive. When youth lead, communities thrive. They are not just program participants, they are future leaders. And I encourage you to take a moment to look at the impact reports on your tables tonight. They show what becomes possible when we choose to invest. Because Dare to Be Youth is not just delivering programs, they're building the human highways that carry young people forward long before they reach a breaking point. Thank you.
Questions? Linda.
I just want to say, I've known Shannon for a long time. I've seen a lot of her work. It was actually an ice cream night that you had, and I got to meet a lot of the teenagers. And when I spoke to some of them, I just couldn't believe some of their stories of how they used to walk with their head down and had no confidence. And hearing some of their stories of how they lead now and they're so proud to be part of an organization, and these are young teenagers, and it's so important nowadays with our youth, the teenagers, that they build this confidence and just the self-awareness and the camaraderie amongst all of them and the community that they're building within. And I saw it firsthand, and I give kudos to the whole team. It's not just Shannon, it's not just yourself, it's everyone that comes together, and it's growing, and it's growing fast because there's such a need. So I just wanted to give kudos to that team because I know they work very hard. So.
Thank you. And just for those online, I'm not going to repeat that. It wasn't a question. It was just one of our members commenting on the impact of the organization.
How many students are you hoping to have at this particular program, and how many students do you help annually? How many attend this program?
So the question is just how many students will be attending this particular program and how many are helped annually?
Awesome. I'm going to throw it over to Shannon to tell us more.
So the one in April, there will be approximately 150, and then of course ongoing mentorship and training past that, but we've served over 3,000 students since we launched our program.
So for the sport program, it'll be 150, and for the one in April, yep. And they've helped over 3,000 students since they've started. So Shannon, how many is that approximately a year?
It depends on the initiatives that we do, but approximately 750 to 900 a year.
Okay. So it's typically 750 to about 900 a year, depending on the programs.
How do they become engaged in your program?
this particular one or all of them?
So any of the programs. We originally worked with the schools. And the
Okay,
educators.
sorry, hang on a second. Can you come up and answer it here? Yeah, that would be really helpful. So the question was, how do students get engaged in any of these programs?
So we originally started with the schools and the educators, not-for-profit partners, but now that we have youth that are now becoming leaders, it's really driven by them. They're the voice, and it's beautiful to see some of the youth that have been with us since 2021 are now leading and facilitating the programs and reaching out to peers and hosting their own events, literally on their own. Like, they are peer-led and peer-driven, with the support of our program director as well, who is a retired vice principal and an advocate of our programs for the last 4 years, and now she's working with us part-time.